Hello, churchgoers. It's a good thing to go to church, but also it's another thing to do your civic duty. I've learned that I didn't do mine either for years. I just learned about 13 years ago, and maybe I'm overdoing it to make up for it. Now that I realize how important it is that everybody has to get involved with their local government, our council, our mayor. Number one, the mayor. That's it, basically, right there. We can start right there. To turn this whole city around, it'll start with the mayor. There's all kind of issues in the city, all kind of problems. Homeless, crime. It just goes on. Corruption it's just bubbling over in corruption. We're being robbed of our rights to speak. We're being robbed of our money. And it's because a lot of people don't know what's going on downtown, and it's meant that way. The media doesn't inform us. Local media doesn't inform us, and schools are not teaching us. So what I'm doing, since I became aware of this, the overall picture, if you see the overall picture, you'll notice it really lays out that there's two sides. One, either you want to live under government control, and all you got to do is what you're doing now. Nothing. Nothing. And your government thanks you for that. Just give them your money and keep your eyes closed to what they're doing. That's under government control. They'll tell you when to think, how to think, and what to do. Or, as this country was designed by people control. The people that started this country escaped the country that was under government control. They didn't like it. That's how this country started. And now we're sliding back to government control in all different ways. And it starts with the church people as well. Now, I was talking to one person, a pastor, I guess, the other day, or someone out in Walmart parking lot, and he was trying to get people to go to church. And his thing was, you pray to fix everything. Pray, pray, pray. And when I travel up west, I've seen some big signs someone put up on this acreage out there in the middle of nowhere, which I like, but they got signs saying, pray, pray. Okay. Well, I think it's a two-part system to really make it work, a two-part. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think it says somewhere, or at least I've gotten the word, that God helps those who helps himself. So prayer with action, then I think you got something. And if the church people would put action with prayer, we could change the city around. We could, and we need to, because I think what we're supposed to do is help one another. That's why God put people here to help one another. And I do not pray for what God gave me the ability to do on my own. Now, if I pray about anything, it's to get you to do your job, because I don't have the ability to make you do that. So anyway, that's why I'm trying to reach out to the church people going to churches. A lot of pastors are not pastors. A lot of them are phonies. They're fakes. And it's just unbelievable, how many that are not real pastors. And so I'm looking for, if you want to make God smile, because I guess I brought that up about pastors because I've tried reaching out to several pastors hoping that they would reach down to their church members with how bad we need local voter education. If you have Sunday school at your church, you need to teach local voter education. We need to get local voter education back in school. That living in a city, it's an obligation for us to take care of it, not a privilege. And it's everybody's obligation, regardless if you're a congressman or a pastor. The only one I think I could give an excuse to would be a doctor. They have a lot going on, and if they don't have time to think about this, I could excuse that. But I think everybody else does not. I don't know. Everybody else said. I would say firemen, policemen, everybody has a right to vote, learn what's going on in your city, and put the right people in office. And that's what we're not doing. We're down to less than 4%, 3% voting in my district. 3%. Over 50% of the people that attend church are unregistered voters. 95% or more of the churchgoers do not vote in local elections. They neglected their duties. So that's why I'm trying to reach out to you to say, hey, it's good to pray, but you got to do too. And it's your responsibility to, because your tax money goes down to feed this. So it makes you, whether you like it or not, you are a part of the thing. So there's only two sides. Either you're for government control or people control, one or the other. There's no in between. Do nothing, that's government control, and they thank you. Get involved with us and do people control, and I think God will smile on that. So I would like for the churches to start learning more about, or teaching the people to be involved, because we don't have enough to change things, and our mayor has really robbed us of everything. There's been no one like this in the last 4 years. What she's done to the city is unbelievable. If you want to go back and study the history where I started 13 years ago, no big changes until Maddie Parker, and it's been unbelievable changes. Unbelievable what she's getting away with. So I'm reaching out to everybody. We need to put our city back on track. It's off track, needs to be back on track. All you got to do is call this number and demand, don't ask, it's our city, that they put back our council the way it was before Maddie Parker. Put the agenda back like it was before Maddie Parker. All you got to go back and look at a Betsy Price council meeting, which I'm not a fan of Betsy Price. I thought that was bad, but this got worse. But look at that schedule and then compare what Maddie has. We don't have the right to do anything. We don't have no free speech anymore. So this is the first thing we got to do is put back our schedule like that. So that's how you get involved. Come to a council meeting. Watch some council meetings on the telly. You know, not only they took away our council meetings, they cut them down and took away our free speech. Maddie Parker also took away the remote. So people that are disabled that used to be able to call in and have 3 minutes to speak and be a part of the city, she isolated them. They had to come down there. That's just not good. So we need you to come down to City Hall. That's where angels fear to tread right now. It's because the good people don't come down there. If you start coming down to City Hall and start looking to help in store, just decency, honesty, transparency, that's it. The stuff I think that God would smile on, that's all we're asking for, to help do that, because it's not there. It needs to be put back in there. And you can do it. There's enough church-going people to do it alone, because we're down to such a small amount of people that's running this city. So anyway, that's my message to you, that I would hope that, you know, you would share this with other churches, no matter which, Baptist, Churches of Christ, don't matter. What matters is that we get on one page and put our city back on a decent track. Where I got my religious education was by Apostle Frederick K. Price out of California, which I followed all through the 90s. And I don't know by me saying that if that crediting or discrediting by my behavior, but anyway, that's where I got a lot of my education. I followed that guy a lot. And what I want to say is I'm disappointed in the people that do go to church. I'm very disappointed in who call themselves pastors and stuff like that. There's a lot of it's just not real nowadays. It's so commercial and really phony. So if you believe in God and the book, then I think you would believe that not only prayer, but God helps those who help themselves. So I think it's a combination of both. Pray, but you got to do. And when it comes to doing our civic duties, you're not doing it. And that's a big thing. But another thing is that what the church-going people did some time ago is they let a few people in black robes 1,500 miles from here remove prayer from our schools without a fight. Now, I don't think that makes Jesus happy or God happy when you did that. I think if you fight to put it back, that would. I think that could be the best thing you could do. And right now would be the best time to fight to put prayer back in our schools, because you've got a president that will support it. And I believe that, I'm not saying you have to be religious or that, or any of that. I'm just saying this country was based on that. Our foundation's that, and they knew what they were doing. They, to undermine this country and to bring it down from beneath is to remove patriotism, spiritual, and morals. And they've done a great job at it over the decades. And the kids coming out of school. So it's funny. You go to the city council meeting, they have a preacher say a prayer. You go to the commissioner's court, they got someone to say a prayer. You go to the school board meeting, they don't say prayer. So they're attacking right where the kids come out of and the generations coming out. We have got to go back and put a stop to this stuff and put prayer back in the school. It needs to be back in there. Civics needs to be in our school. And the church-going people could do this. But you're going to have to find a backbone, a spine, and really believe in God and Jesus that you want to do something, because time is precious. You're only here for a short period of time. Every day the clock's ticking, and we're one day closer to death. So, and it worries me every day. I don't know how much time I've got to work with this stuff, but every day, we don't know what day ends it, but what time we got here. I think the best thing you can do is to uphold the Bible's ways, or God's way, and what Jesus did for us. So, and by doing that, it's not by letting some people in some black robes 1,500 miles away play God and tell a whole state they can't have prayer in their school. So you need to find, and if there was a church or a group of religious people that were involved in doing, and not just preaching and praying, but doing, come to city council, do your civic job. That is your civic duty regardless. No one's above that. No one's excused. It's everybody's tax dollars down there. It makes you a part of it, whether you like it or not. So you can do nothing. And I believe I can see Satan laughing with delight. Or you can take a stand and show some respect to Jesus, that you care. And that's what God put people that care for one another. So if you care, you'll start doing. And that's what we needed churches to do. To start organizing, grouping, making an army, just like you would call the same different battalions, and come together and stand for just a few things together. It doesn't matter, Catholic, Baptist, it doesn't matter. This is the united thing that we can all agree on. Prayer should be back in school. That's one. The second thing, we let those people in those black robes 1,500 miles away here take away what we voted on. And that was Proposition 2, that marriage is a man and a woman. Now, if we want to change that, if the people want to change that a man can marry a goat if they want to, or whatever, then there's a procedure to do that by putting it on the ballot and people voting. And if the majority of people agree to same-sex marriage, then so be it. But to allow a handful of people in black robes 1,500 miles away decide how we're going to live in this state is insane. And there again, there's enough church-going people, and if you actually believe, show God that you care, you'll step up and start doing. Or you can stay in your shell. You can pray all you want, go home and pray. But like I said, man does not live by prayer alone. The same thing by bread alone. I believe that God helps those who helps himself. So we need you to step up and start helping. And right now, it'd be a great time for you to organize groups, start writing legislation, whatever we got to do, who we got to find out. But man, if we had to, put prayer back in school. And the state of Texas put it back. We are an independent state from other states. We have special rights that other states don't have because we didn't sign. So demand it. Come to the school boards in large groups and demand it. It's and we'll have election for different board members. So demand it, put it back. And let's put civics back in school. To teach our kids that taking care of your city is a responsibility, not a privilege. So they don't turn out like you. I'm sorry to say that, but you churchgoers, you're not doing anything.